Hey everybody, how is it going? It's the Crystal Flaffy, and as you can see from the title, we are talking about another Astromon. Today we are going to be going over the other 3-star rebirth Astromon, being Light, Dark, Fennec. Well, all Fennecs in general, but only the Light and Dark are in the rebirth right now. The exotic stuff for Camilla is just starting, so I'll try to record for her, Tina, and Sierra after, as Tina and Sierra just started in Lupin Dungeon today. As I'm recording this, I don't know if I'm uploading this the same day. Hopefully I do. Oh well. I tried to do this for yesterday, but I did not have time to do so. But found some time right now to do it. And then afterwards, I got homework, because college, you know? But anyway, let's hop right into it. This one's going to be much faster, hopefully, because Fennec, for the red, blue, green, they're all pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is, of course, their element and the stats they have. Their skills, exactly the same, except they're element specific. And then light is similar to them as well, but a little bit different, and dark is the black sheep of the family. I think I passed it already. Yeah, there we go. So here we have Fennec, for Fire Fennec. A nice red for the regular. And kind of pinkish for the outfit, but like brownish fur. I kind of like the variant more. But anyway, we'll look at... Well, actually, we'll look at the skills first, or the stats first, but anyway, you saw Wood Hunter 50%, and critical hit attack down 80% 2 turns. I'm pretty sure books bring it up to 100%. I can check, actually. I think I just pulled a Fennec yesterday. Where is it? Unless I am mistaken. I do have a dark one there, but that's not what we're looking for. No, I guess I'm mistaken. Or maybe it was on my alt that I pulled one. But anyway, the main reason we'll look at fire and water and wood all in one go is to look at their stats, because that's the only thing that's really different about them. Let's see. So fire has 27k HP, has 2500 attack, and 1500 defense. And then we will go over to... We'll just do this fast so we can quickly compare the three of them, since they are very similar. Let's see, Water Fennec is here. I really like that blue. Yeah, I prefer the regular for this one. But anyway, we see the HP is a little lower. It's 26k. And attack is a bit higher though, 2.6 rather than 2600 rather than 2500. And the defense is about the same. Recovery again does not matter at all. And we'll just look here. It's, again, attack down on active, and Fire Hunter this time instead of Wood Hunter. So pretty much 50% crit damage boost against Fire Mons. For the Fire Fennec, it'll be against Wood Mons, and for the Wood Fennec, it'll be against Water Mons, which is here. There we go. And the orange is cool. I feel like this green could be cool if it wasn't so bright. So I'm going to go with... I like the regular one more for Wood Fennec. But anyway, looking at the stats, we see has 23k HP. So HP is lower than the others by quite a lot. 2500 attack, so it's similar to fire, but has 1800 defense, so it's higher than the others by a good amount. And then Water Hunter attack down. Now I'm pretty sure again that that attack down goes up to 100% with books. The Hunter I think stays the same. Now, the reason I wanted to look at all their stats like that, just so we can quickly compare them, because you might want to gem them a little differently based on those stats. They're all crit based. They even have crit damage lead that's elemental specific. Same, obviously, across the board. Light and dark also have crit damage leads, obviously. So you're going to want to build them with crit rate. Well, you have to build these ones with crit rate, because otherwise their 3-star would be useless. So if you're going to build any of them, for fire, water, wood, go crit rate, attack. You can go crit rate, attack, attack. Crit rate, attack, crit damage. If you want to go full glass, you can do either of those two. But if you want survivability, which you would most likely want for like PvP or something, unless you're using trinkets, then you can go like crit rate, attack, I would recommend crit rate, attack, HP for fire and water, because they have a lot of HP. So you would get more out of an HP gem than a defense gem for them. But with wood, I think it's a toss-up. You can go either or and get pretty much the same amount, because their HP and a defense are closer together than it is for fire and water, where the HP and defense gap is a lot larger. So that's how I would gem them, and you could gem all 3 of them. As to where you could use them, they're all good for golems, all 3 of them. The Fire Fennec you would use on GB9 against the Wood Golem, Water Fennec against GB8 for the Fire Golem, and Wood Fennec against GB7 for the Water Golem. Of course, as you get good with GB10, you won't farm those ones too often unless you need a specific shape. But then you'll eventually get dragons, and you can do that instead for those if you need specific shapes. More reliable there than golems. But they are helpful there. And speaking of dragons, you'd really only want to use fire or water out of the red, blue, green, because fire would be good against DB9. That's where the wood dragon is, and I think DB7 is the fire dragon, so you would use water there. But I don't remember the floor for the water dragon. I know it doesn't match up to golems, like it's not 1-for-1. As like the floor 10 dragon is light and the floor 10 golem is dark. So they're not all the same. It's just coincidence that fire and water ended up being the same for B8 and B9 respectively. You can also use fire and water for Colossus. Water would be against Tuesday's Fire Colossus. It'd be really good there, especially with crit damage lead, and you can just nuke. Which, thinking about it now, that's actually a very good option. If I didn't have better mons, I'd probably go with that. Definitely for early game, mid game players, if you need a good mon for Fire Colossus, go with Water Fennec. If you can summon them, definitely recommend it. And then also, Fire Fennec would be good for damage and leader skill against the Wood Colossus. Just remember you need a SP Siphon there for the minion, the attack up minion. As I said before, you can use them for PvP, but you might want a bit more bulk on them than if you use them for the other contents, yeah. But you can just use them for their leader skill and for damaging. They won't be any good on defense, but they'd be pretty good on offense as just some damage dealers for early mid-game PvP. And you can use them for farming story stages as well, where you need their element, and for damage lead as well. And that's pretty much it for the red, blue, green. So, I was able to go through those 3 rather quickly. But now we will move on to light and dark, as those are the ones that require a little bit more speaking about, since they are different than the other 3. Now, light is similar. It has Hunter on the 3-star, but it is a general Hunter, so it's good against any element. And then on 5-star, it's 100% defense down for 2 turns, but also crit based. So you don't have to worry about that extra 20% that you would have needed. The only difference for books for them, I'm pretty sure for Fire, Water, Wood, they would get 20% damage boost on 3-star, and I'm assuming like, oh, and there goes my Wi-Fi. Let me just pause this for... Okay. Let me just see if, sorry, let me pull down drop down menu, see if I'm still recording. I am, okay. There we go, I think. Well, I'll just talk while it does this. It should be fine because I turned on my data. Yeah, there we go. So, difference for the books. For Fire, Water, Wood, they would get damage boost, and then for 3 and 5-star, they'd get a bit of a damage boost, and I'm pretty sure they get that extra 20% to bring their attack down to 100. I mean, up to 100. For Light Fennec, it's just 20% damage boost for 5-star and 3-star. It doesn't bring up defense down to 3 turns, which would be so amazing if it did, but it's fine that it doesn't. But then we'll look at Fennec's stats now. 3,200 attack and 2,200 defense. So much better, so much higher than any of the other elements so far. And HP is about the same. It's a bit lower than fire, but it's around the same as water and higher than wood. For light, I would gem same way that I would gem the other ones, you know, crit rate, attack, crit rate, attack, crit damage, crit rate, attack, HP, or defense. Either can work there. I think mine is crit rate, attack, HP, which we will actually take a... Oh, before we do, we'll look at the difference in their design. Mine is a variant, so I guess I'm pretty biased towards the variant Fennec. Yeah, honestly, I just like it anyway. I just like it more. But we will go look at the Fennec that I have. Now, mine isn't on the most optimal gems yet. The subs aren't that great for the attack and defense, the attack and HP gem. The crit rate one, it's not that great either. It does get a little bit of attack percent and crit damage. That's good, but the other two flat stats are definitely could be replaced. And crit rate, attack, and HP, which the subs on all of them are pretty damn bad. So I definitely need to upgrade, but it's fine for now. Got max crit rate, so it's good. Besides crit resistance, he'll crit all the time. As you see, 20% across the board. And actually, let me take out that Dark Fennec I have just so we can look at its books after we speak about him, which is what we'll do in a moment. I just want to say, oh, I didn't do my gold add view thing. I'll do that after this. But let's say places that we can use Light Fennec. Just like the other ones, you can use them for golems and dragons. For golems, you'd want to use for DB10. You would need most likely, you would need like a full light team for that if you were to do it. Otherwise, they'll all target him and he'll die right away. But if you have a full light team, he has a chance of surviving and he can do a lot of damage. He would do a lot of damage to the golem, and he'd be very helpful with that defense down as well. He's good. I don't know if you can use him really in dragons. I think the Dark Dragon is DB6, which DB6 I think is just a worse DB10. Like, you get the same rewards, just lower chance of getting 6 stars. So, wouldn't really be too useful there, but can also be used for... Yeah, you can use them for Colossus against the Dark Colossus. I don't use mine there. I use some self-sustain mons, like Fire Succubus, Wood Odin, on first line with Fire Wild Fang and Fire Sanzang. And then my backup line, I have Dark Thor for defense down, Dark Chloe for attack down and crit damage lead, and then I do damage with Light Wendigo and Light Siegfried. I could put in Fennec there. I think I did use Fennec there for a while, actually, before I Evil 3'd my Siegfried. So that's another possibility you can use there. It's definitely very good, and it's a backup defense down as well. If you can get your active, which is very unlikely, but it happens sometimes, you know. Happens sometimes. But really, what you're going to want him for is PvP. Offensive. PvP offense, specifically. really good there, especially in full light teams again. Just getting that crit damage lead and also doing just massive damage as well. But anyway, as you can see, we have Dark Fennec up here now. Did for a while. We'll talk about Dark Fennec a little bit now. I never built a Dark Fennec. I did Evo for the gems back when he was in his first rebirth a while ago. Whenever it was, I don't remember. Let's look at the stats. You see the HP stat is really, really high. Actually, it's not the highest. Definitely not. But it is close. I'm pretty sure the highest HP is probably Wood Draka. I don't remember exactly. I'm gonna actually look. Yeah, Wood Draka gets over 50k, which is a lot. But I know Water Siegfried, Light Siegfried, and there was someone else that are around there as well. Water Siegfried's just 49. I think Light Odin, maybe, would have been the other one. No, it's not. Oh, Dark Arthur. Dark Arthur, I remember, had a lot of HP, and so did... Oh, okay. Actually, I think Dark Fennec is higher than that. There's Dark Arthur. Oh, Dark Arthur is lower than Wood Draka, so I think Wood Draka does have the highest, actually. But Dark Fennec is definitely not that far behind, and it is higher than Wood Zubaji, Dark Zubaji, actually by a few hundred. But the defense and attack are very low, actually, looking at it. And recovery doesn't matter anyway. But we'll look at its skills now. The thing about Dark Fennec is that he's really good for PvP defense, but he has a crit requirement, which does give him a handicap. So, normally for defense mons, you want to build them with resist, so they don't get stunned or shocked or things like that. But it's hard to build for high resist and high crit rate at the same time. It's definitely possible, but it is a lot more difficult than if you're just building for one. But looking at the skills, you see it's a crit-based battle rush, 20% HP SP, and a 60% 2-turn silence. Now, I'm pretty sure the books bring it up to 80%, and we can actually double check that right now. Shouldn't be too... There we go. Yeah, so it gets 20% for its silence, and then it gets 20% damage boost on 3-star and 15% damage boost on 5-star. So that's it for skills, and really, honestly, the only place you're gonna want to use it is for PvP. You can use it for offense too, if you build a more offensive build. Like, honestly, if I were to build a Dark Fennec, I wouldn't go the typical... Like, I'd assume people would go crit rate HP defense, just so it gets its battle rush off and it has as much survivability as possible. But looking at its HP stat, it might not need HP investment that much. Like, you can get some HP subs and be good. Really what you need on it is more defense, because its defense stat is very low. So I'd probably go like crit rate defense, or if you want to build it off like a sneaky offensive mon, you can go like crit rate attack or something like that. I have seen Dark Fennecs in PvP that do hit pretty hard, which is okay because you do want it to crit, and it has that base 100 crit damage, so it can do some damage still even with that low attack. But you're gonna want some investment in it if you want some good damage. But yeah, like I said, Dark Fennec is a weird mon to build for. If you like it, definitely go for it. If you can get its crit rate as close to max as possible, as well as its resist as high as possible, you can get it to be very good. So it's just going to be difficult to do. It's similar to like HP aggressors. and defense aggressors. Do you want them to have high crit rate and high defense? I mean, high resist. So, so HP, they're just weird to gem. Well, not weird, they're difficult to gem. Because getting gem quality like that isn't very common. It happens, but it's a lot rarer than getting gems that just focus on one. But anyway, let's look at the design real quick. I love the purple for the regular, but I also like the dark theme of the variant. But purple is my favorite color, so I will go with the regular for that one. And I'm pretty sure that is all for the Fennecs, actually. Because their fire, water, wood is pretty much the same, we were able to go through it much faster. If I were to prioritize them, I would say light as number 1. And then, if you need a good mon for PvP defense, go with dark. Yeah, so I guess you can go light, dark, and then fire, water, wood would all be like even. But you can also switch fire, water, wood to second place and put dark in third, just because of the difficulty of gemming him well. But you know what, thinking of it now, trinkets would make getting his resist higher a little easier, so I don't know. Anyway, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think between where Dark Fennec should fit in between that list. I definitely still think Light should be first, guaranteed, because it's just a really good mon. But that's going to be all for this one. Make sure you guys like and continue to give feedback. I have got feedback, or some feedback already, and I'm trying to put it into effect, so any more feedback would be great as well. And yeah, that's gonna be all. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next video, which will be Tina, Sierra, and Camilla all in one, since they only have light dark versions, so, and they're all 3 the anniversary mon, so I just go through all of them in one go. But anyway, yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye bye.